If you've ever squinted at a nutrition label in the grocery aisle only to give up and trust the 100% heart-healthy claim, this video is for you. In 2025, packaging often highlights benefits that sound impressive, but don't always match the full picture. For older adults, nutrient needs shift: fewer calories, more protein and fiber, and closer attention to sodium and added sugars all matter for staying healthy. Today, you'll see 10 common foods to rethink, plus practical swaps you can use right away. Check labels, and if you have chronic conditions or take medication, confirm choices with your clinician, especially starting with one everyday snack aisle favorite. Flavored Greek yogurt, protein with a sugar sidecar. Walk into any grocery store, and you'll see whole rows of colorful yogurt cups stacked neatly at eye level. For many older shoppers, the ones that stand out are covered with friendly promises like supports heart health and great for strong bones, often paired with images of smiling couples enjoying breakfast. The message is clear: this is yogurt made with you in mind. On the surface, it seems like an easy win. Greek yogurt has a strong reputation for being high in protein and a satisfying snack without a lot of empty calories. But in 2025, the health halo around some flavored versions hides issues that can quietly undermine those benefits. One of the biggest concerns is the amount of added sugar, something most shoppers overlook. Flavored varieties frequently contain substantial added sugars, sometimes doubling or tripling the natural milk sugars. The result is closer to a dessert than a balanced snack, even if it's sitting in the healthy dairy section. That sweetness can come from cane sugar, syrups, or reduced fruit purees that have been processed down to little more than concentrated sugar water. Artificial or natural flavors are often blended in to boost taste and make the product shelf-friendly, but they add nothing nutritionally. For older adults, there's another layer to this. As you age, insulin sensitivity tends to decline, meaning your body doesn't handle quick jolts of sugar as well as it once did. The World Health Organization recommends keeping free and added sugar under 10% of daily energy intake, with further reduction toward 5% for added dental health benefits. The American Heart Association suggests no more than about 24 grams per day for women and 36 grams for men. A single flavored Greek yogurt can easily take up a large share of that allowance before you've even finished breakfast. That kind of load can cause more pronounced blood sugar swings, especially if you live with diabetes, prediabetes, or other glucose regulation issues. You may feel alert for a short time after eating, but the spike and drop pattern can leave you tired or craving more carbs soon after. While these effects vary from person to person, the pattern is not ideal for maintaining steady energy through the day. And if you take glucose-lowering medication or have known digestive sensitivities, it's smart to check with your clinician before making high-sugar dairy a regular habit. They can help you understand how it might interact with your overall treatment plan and dietary needs. The protein in Greek yogurt is still valuable. It supports muscle mass and satiety, which are important with age. But in the flavored cups marketed to seniors, that benefit often comes packaged with extras you don't need. Some are fortified in ways that reduce calcium compared to what you might expect, and they may contain stabilizers, gums, or starch-based thickeners to improve texture. For those with sensitive digestion, ingredients such as carrageenan or certain gums can cause discomfort, particularly if you're already managing conditions like irritable bowel syndrome or diverticulosis. Taste is a big reason these formulas exist. The natural tang of plain Greek yogurt can be off-putting if you're used to sweeter products, and food companies know this. Their solution is to load it with flavorings, fruit blends made from concentrates or sugary dessert profiles like caramel latte. Even real fruit, flavored cups may have less actual fruit than adding a small handful of fresh berries at home. This shifts the product toward the same nutritional profile as pudding, regardless of the front-of-package health cues. So what's the most straightforward fix? Choose plain Greek yogurt, low-fat or whole, depending on your calorie and fat goals, and add your own flavor. A handful of fresh berries, a sprinkle of cinnamon, or a drizzle of honey if you want more sweetness puts you in control. This swap preserves the high protein content and lets you keep added sugars low. Buying larger tubs of plain Greek yogurt instead of small flavored cups is often cheaper per serving, and it allows you to portion out exactly what you need. This way, you decide the balance of protein, carbs, and flavor in every serving, not the manufacturer. Plain versions also tend to skip some of the texture additives found in flavored options, so they're easier on digestion for many people. You won't be eating around hidden, evaporated cane juice, or fruit concentrate blends buried in the ingredients list. And if you monitor your blood sugar, the steadier responses you get from plain yogurt can make it simpler to predict your body's reactions and plan meals accordingly. Even when it comes to calcium, you can work around the slightly lower levels in Greek yogurt due to straining. Pair it with other calcium-rich foods, like fortified plant milks in a smoothie or a side of leafy greens, to make up the difference without compromising your sugar targets. That's a more deliberate strategy than hoping a flavored cup happens to line up with your nutrient needs. Small daily habits matter over time. If you're eating one flavored Greek yogurt each morning, the added sugar adds up over weeks and months. For someone watching energy levels, weight, dental health, or glucose control, that shift can be significant. Switching to plain and flavoring it yourself delivers the same convenience, better nutrition, and a product that genuinely works for you. Next time you're in the yogurt aisle, check the nutrition panel before focusing on the packaging. If the sugar content rivals or exceeds the protein content, think of it as a dessert and consider whether that's really the start you want to your day. Being intentional here makes it much easier to sidestep products that work against your goals while still enjoying the foods you like. And once you've looked more closely at what's in that cup, it's worth taking the same approach with other, healthy, breakfast standbys that may not be as innocent as they seem. Instant oatmeal packets, the morning blood sugar roller coaster. Another breakfast staple that can look wholesome at first glance is the flavored instant oatmeal packet. In the grocery aisle, they're hard to miss small boxes full of brightly designed packets labeled with names like maple brown sugar, apple cinnamon, or superfood berry blend. The photos on the front show steaming bowls of oats topped with nuts or drizzles of honey, and the slogans promise fiber-rich fuel that's perfect for your active morning. For many older adults, the draw is obvious. They're light, easy to store, quick to prepare, and require little cleanup. Just pour into a bowl, add hot water, and breakfast is ready. If arthritis makes cooking more difficult or mornings are simply a time for ease, it can feel like the perfect solution. Yet the part that matters most is what's inside those packets. Flavored instant oatmeal often carries significant added sugar and much less fiber than whole rolled oats, so it can give you a quick sweet jolt that fades fast. The oats are often coated with sugar or syrup that dissolves instantly in hot water. And because each packet is a pre-measured serving, what's in it is set. You can't dial it back if you're trying to manage your sugar intake. Marketing around these products often leans on the word fiber, but that number is usually lower than expected. Many packets contain just 3 or 4 grams, better than nothing, but far less than what you'd get from a full portion of plain rolled oats. For older adults, whose diets often need more fiber for digestive health, this mismatch matters. Some of the packet's weight comes from powdered flavor mixes or candies of dried fruit rather than nutrient-dense ingredients. If your activity level is lower or you take medications that can slow digestion, the difference between this and true whole oats can be felt over time. For seniors, there's an added physiological point worth knowing. As you age, metabolism shifts and the body can become less efficient at managing blood sugar after eating high-sugar foods. Starting the day with a sweet breakfast may cause a quick rise in energy, followed by a more dramatic drop than you might expect. That post-breakfast slump can leave you tired, lightheaded, or craving another carb-heavy snack within hours. And for some, that shift in alertness or balance can increase the risk of a slip or fall if it happens while out or moving around the home. The very way instant oats are processed adds to this pattern. They're pre-cooked and dried, which is why they can be ready in minutes. But that also means they digest faster than rolled or steel-cut oats, turning into glucose more quickly in the body. Add a generous helping of sugar, and the impact on blood sugar is even more pronounced. You might think you're starting with something steady and heart-healthy, but nutritionally it behaves more like a sweet snack than a long-lasting breakfast. Visual cues on the box can also be misleading. The image might show whole slices of apple or plump blueberries, yet inside are often small, sweetened dried pieces providing little beyond extra sugar. Even lightly sweetened or natural flavor versions can pack more added sugar than you'd expect, simply blended with lower intensity sweeteners to maintain taste. The fruit in these packets is rarely enough to count toward a meaningful serving, and it lacks the fiber and hydration fresh or frozen fruit would provide. Some brands try to compensate by fortifying these packets with vitamins and minerals like calcium or B vitamins. While that can look promising on paper, the overall nutritional trade-off often works against you. Added nutrients don't slow the rapid digestion or blunt the sugar spike, and they're not always as well absorbed as nutrients from whole foods. And if you're already supplementing based on a doctor's advice, that extra fortification may be redundant. It's true that the convenience is real. Anyone can boil water and have oats ready in under 2 minutes, but it's worth weighing if that speed needs to come with the sugar load. There are simple, just-as-fast ways to get the warmth and comfort of oats without the downside. The most practical step is to buy plain rolled oats or unsweetened quick oats in bulk. They're inexpensive, store well, and let you decide how to flavor them. The prep can be identical to a packet. Measure your portion, add hot water or milk, and stir. By starting plain, you get the full natural fiber of the oats with none of the built-in sugar. From there, add toppings that give you flavor and functional nutrition. Fresh or frozen berries for natural sweetness and antioxidants, sliced banana or diced apple for additional fiber, a sprinkle of cinnamon for warmth without sugar, or a spoonful of nut butter to add healthy fats and protein that slow digestion. This approach lets you match the creamy texture of flavored instant oats by cooking with dairy or fortified plant milk, and gets you closer to a balanced breakfast that supports steady energy. If you want a touch of added sweetness, you control the amount, often ending up with much less than what's hidden in a single flavored packet. Managing breakfast well isn't just about avoiding excess calories. For many seniors, it's about creating a solid foundation for the day, a meal that fuels you without sudden drops in energy or focus. Paying attention to the differences between flavored instant oats and plain oats with your own mix-ins can shift breakfast from a source of hidden sugar swings to one that supports stability and satiety. And this habit of questioning the health version of a packaged staple pays dividends beyond breakfast. The same marketing strategies that wrap sugars in reassuring phrases like fiber-rich show up in plenty of pantry items, where the numbers on the nutrition label tell a different story than the front of the box. Before long, you start to see patterns in how foods are positioned and what's actually inside. Knowledge that makes it much easier to sidestep products that work against your long-term health, even when they're dressed up for your benefit. Some of the most heavily marketed everyday items lean less on sugar and more on other flavor enhancers, which can be just as important to monitor as you get older. Low-sodium soups, salty by another name. One packaged meal that often gets an automatic green light from shoppers trying to eat better is the low-sodium soup. For anyone working to support healthy blood pressure or reduce strain on the heart, that phrase on a can sounds like it's doing the heavy lifting for you. And it's easy to see why these soups find a place in so many kitchens. They last for months in the pantry, heat up quickly, and offer a hot, filling option when cooking from scratch feels like too much. The catch is that low sodium on the front doesn't always mean what you think. In many cases, reduced salt soups still carry well over 500 milligrams of sodium per 1 cup serving. Since most cans are labeled as containing 2 servings, a single can often delivers 1,000 milligrams or more in one sitting. For context, the American Heart Association recommends limiting sodium to no more than 2,300 milligrams per day, and ideally 1,500 milligrams for many older adults. A practical target when shopping for any packaged meal is around 500 milligrams of sodium or less. That one benchmark makes it easier to scan labels, and quickly decide whether something fits your day's allowance. There's also another ingredient swap to watch for. To keep a salty taste while cutting some sodium chloride, manufacturers often use potassium chloride. While it can help lower sodium content, it's not risk-free. If you have kidney disease or take certain blood pressure medications, you can be more sensitive to changes in potassium levels. Too much can lead to muscle weakness or abnormal heart rhythms. If a label lists potassium chloride, it's worth checking with your doctor or dietitian before making it a regular habit. Even without looking at those details, sodium limits for older adults are easy to overshoot. With age, blood vessels and the cardiovascular system become less efficient at handling big sodium loads. That can mean a soup labeled 25% less sodium still delivers more than your body can comfortably manage in a single meal. And if you're paying attention only to the per serving number on the label, you might miss that your actual intake doubles when you finish the can. Flavor is another area to consider. Cutting down salt can make broth taste flat, so companies often use natural flavors and yeast extracts to mimic the original, savory taste. These can still contain smaller amounts of sodium-bearing compounds that add up. They keep the taste familiar, but they don't make the soup much friendlier to your sodium budget. Some recipes also add noodles, refined rice, or thickened starches that do little for long-lasting fullness. If the soup doesn't hold your appetite for long, you may end up reaching for another snack later, adding more sodium to the day without realizing it. Long shelf life comes from a mix of heat processing and stabilizers. While generally safe, some of these additions, like modified food starch, can cause mild digestive discomfort for certain people. And for anyone on diuretics or other medications to manage fluid balance, excess sodium in any form can work against the treatment. Even when labels seem reassuring, the reality of how your body handles the load matters more than the marketing. If you've come to rely on canned soup for convenience, you don't have to remove it completely. Just shift toward versions that give you control over the final sodium content. No salt added soups are an excellent base, though they may taste plain straight out of the can. You can easily build flavor at home with black pepper, garlic, onion powder, herbs like rosemary or parsley, or a splash of lemon juice or vinegar. These brighten taste without pushing up sodium levels. If you use canned vegetables or beans in homemade soup, rinsing them under water before adding reduces sodium noticeably. The American Heart Association notes that blanching or rinsing can remove a significant portion of added sodium, making it a simple kitchen step with a big payoff. Making soup from scratch is another option, especially if you cook a large batch and freeze servings. This way, you decide how much or how little salt goes into it from the start. Chicken with carrots, celery, and whole grains can be simmered with herbs for depth and finished with just enough seasoning at the end. Adjusting at the table lets each person tailor their bowl without overshooting health goals. If your needs change over time, you can reduce salt even further without adjusting a recipe on a printed label. Reading the whole ingredient list, front and back, becomes a habit that pays off quickly. When you see low sodium on the front, check whether the back shows more than 500 milligrams per serving, whether the container holds more than one serving, and whether potassium chloride or other sodium-like additives are included. Those quick checks make it easier to choose products that align with your health needs, not just the company's marketing angle. In the end, low sodium should be a starting point for investigation, not a final decision. By aiming for packaged meals at or below 500 milligrams of sodium when possible, paying attention to serving sizes, and flavoring at home with herbs and acids, you can keep enjoying the ease of soup without the unwanted effects. Whether that means building your own from no-salt added bases or freezing homemade batches, the key is deciding for yourself exactly what's in your bowl. That way, you get the warmth and comfort you want, while staying in control of the nutrients that matter most. Once you start looking at the numbers behind the labels, it's easier to spot patterns in other, healthy shelf products that promise more than they deliver, sometimes not with salt, but with other nutrients worth tracking just as closely. Whole grain crackers, the fiber illusion. Another snack that tends to get an automatic nod of approval is the box of whole grain crackers. Crack open a package and the crackers usually look the part: golden brown, maybe with visible flecks that suggest hearty grains. The packaging leans hard on this image, with phrases like "made with whole wheat" or "fuel for healthy aging" beside pictures of wheat stalks or sprinkled seeds. For anyone trying to keep snacks aligned with goals for heart health, digestion, and steady energy, the message is clear. This is the grown-up, better-for-you choice. Compared to pale, refined crackers or chips, they seem like the obvious upgrade, light, crisp, and easy to pair with spreads. In reality, what's inside often doesn't match the picture you've been sold. A big part of the disconnect comes from how whole grain is defined on the label. Many products in the healthy aisle are blends, some whole grain flour mixed with a larger share of refined white flour. To keep that hearty look, manufacturers may add caramel coloring or malt extract rather than relying on the natural color of whole wheat. If you expect a meaningful amount of fiber, this can be disappointing. The best way to check is to scan the ingredients. Look for a whole grain listed first, and aim for around 3 grams of fiber per serving if you want it to make a real contribution toward your daily target. Without that, the fiber benefit you think you're getting may be too small to make much difference for digestion or satiety. For older adults, those missing grams of fiber matter more than labels suggest. Fiber helps keep the digestive system regular and becomes especially important when mobility is lower, fluid intake isn't as high, or certain medications slow things down. Snacking a few times a week on crackers that offer little more than refined starch can slowly chip away at your daily fiber intake without you realizing it. Over time, it can contribute to a low fiber pattern that impacts gut health more than most people expect from something marketed as whole grain. Sodium is another quietly building factor. Crackers generally don't taste as salty as chips, but they can still pack enough sodium to matter, especially in portions people actually eat. A listed serving might be just 6 or 7 crackers, but it's common to eat double that in one sitting, especially if paired with cheese, dips, or soup. It's easy to go over your intended sodium limit without realizing, and for anyone keeping an eye on blood pressure, those extra milligrams add up quickly. The seeds scattered over some varieties, flax, sesame, poppy, are often used to signal extra nutrition. Seeds do provide healthy fats and minerals in larger amounts, but on crackers they are usually more of a garnish than a meaningful source. While they can offer some nutrients, the quantities are small compared to eating seeds by the tablespoon in yogurt or cereal. Another point worth noting is texture and comfort. According to dietary guidance like MyPlate and Canada's Food Guide, older adults often need to consider dental and swallowing comfort when choosing foods. For those with dentures, bridges, or sensitive gums, seeds can lodge uncomfortably or require extra cleaning. In some cases, they can irritate a sensitive digestive tract, especially for people with certain gastrointestinal conditions. Seeds aren't inherently a problem for everyone, but it's worth testing small amounts first if you're unsure. Texture overall is something manufacturers engineer into these snacks. The consistent crispness, even months after packaging, usually comes from added oils or shortening that help keep crackers fresh and snappable. These are often refined vegetable oils that don't add the same nutritional value you'd get from sources like olive oil or nuts. If crackers are a daily go-to, that hidden fat source becomes a regular part of your diet, without offering many of the healthier types of fats you might expect from whole food snacks. When you look at the full picture, refined flour blended with some whole grain, calorie-dense flavorings, minor seed decoration, moderate sodium, and shelf-stabilizing fats. It's clear many whole grain crackers are processed carbs dressed up to look like nutrient-rich foods. For anyone aiming to make every calorie count towards stronger nutrition, that's a poor return on the investment. They work more like a light, salty, refined snack than the steady, fiber-rich energy source the front packaging suggests. If you're after a convenient, crunchy bite without those trade-offs, there are swaps that keep the experience but improve the nutrition. Air-popped popcorn is one of the easiest. It's a true whole grain, naturally low in sodium before seasoning, and offers good volume for relatively few calories. 3 cups of air-popped popcorn can feel like a generous snack, especially with flavor from herbs, a sprinkle of spice, or a light mist of olive oil to make seasoning stick. You get real fiber, control over salt, and the satisfying crunch many people want from crackers. Another option is making simple whole seed crackers at home. Using flax, chia, pumpkin, or sunflower seeds as a base, with oat flour or blended rolled oats as the binder, puts the seeds front and center, where they have a meaningful impact on nutrition.